Ministries like the Ministry of Finance, yeah, we had a variation, such a sort of modification, even I think in Obasanjo's time. We have it again now. Finance and coordinating the economy is one. Then there's marine and blue economy. Keyamo is not just the Ministry of Aviation, also of what is, I forget now, but it's about space development,
yes.
You know, something like that, you know. Then health and social welfare. So it just goes on and on, gas resources, humanitarian affairs, and
yes.
poverty alleviation.
You see, I'll tell you this now. I think I'm not under the payroll of President Tinubu. Okay, I mean, I would like to make that clear here. Over the years, I grew myself being a critic of government, but over the years, I've found out that the best way you can achieve for our people is to work with government to provide solutions. I think this president has tapped into something that would uplift this nation and reposition our country for the 21st century. Some of the ministries and the realignment are spot on and innovative because they would help us to harness these resources. For example, regarding with the blue economy.
Yes.
Below the seabed, okay, we have large, extensive amount of nautical miles, you know, that borders Nigeria, which we have access to according to UN charter, that we can explore. We're talking about minerals like cobalt, iron ore, silver, gold. These are needed in enormous amount. That if we can,
under the seabed.
Under the seabed, yes, that you can explore. But the thing is, which I know President Tinubu would not do, is that government should not be in the leading role of doing this, but rather these efforts should be privatized so that private industries should drive growth and productivity for our country.
Okay.
The days where government has to set up companies and provide jobs are far gone. Our government should not be in the business of creating jobs, but rather this government and future government should be about creating the enabling environment
for jobs to be
that would allow jobs to be created. For example, in the United States, nearly 85% of jobs in that country are created by the private sector. So what we need government to focus on now is to provide the necessary infrastructures that would enable businesses to thrive.
You know, you spoke about minerals and cobalt and some of those things under the seabed.
Yes, yes.
And that just reminds me that there's also a new ministry, something about solid minerals development.
Okay.
There's this ministry, you know, of solid ministry development.
Yes.
That's headed up by Dele Alake.
Yes.
So when you mentioned that, my mind immediately went there.
Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff that we probably might not have paid as much attention to in the past.
Exactly.
That the president is now showing is very important.
Yes. Like you mentioned, gas resources.
Gas resources too.
That is an underutilized resources in this country. Originally, I have a degree in chemical engineering, so I'm aware of some of those, that for years we have been burning and flaring gases in Nigeria. That is like putting tens of millions of naira on the table and setting it on fire. We can drive and create at least 5 million jobs by properly harnessing that resources. For example, many people go to the market to buy gas cylinders. What stops us from planning our society in such a way that this gas can be channeled to homes where you don't need to go carry cylinders, but you turn on the valve, you get gas immediately.
You get gas. So you subscribe to it just like electricity.
Exactly, and it will be metered. Not only that, we can also drive our power system with gas. Okay, it should be an integrated system where the power plants are positioned to where there are lines that go straight directly to these power plants that are gas-driven to generate electricity to our people. Because if we can solve electricity problem in this country, you can take it from the table and almost 10 to 25% of overhead costs for businesses. That saved resources can be channeled to create jobs for our people. And now that I talked about gas, I want to mention this here. When the president came in and removed the fuel subsidy, there were a lot of decibels that were raised about that. But it was the right decision. It was the right decision because you could not have done it 6 months later. But with the palliatives that has been talked about, I want to suggest here that we can achieve the palliatives and reduce the cost of fuel by embracing ethanol In Brazil, since 1972, 100% of the vehicles in that country run on ethanol. We can do that here in this country.
Ethanol is a liquid fuel, isn't it?
Yes, and you can get that from sugarcane, from corn, and from cassava. So my proposition is that with that alone, we can create 10 million jobs in this country.
And we can augment the petroleum.
If the president today sends legislation to the National Assembly and mandates 20% ethanol blend with our gasoline, that will reduce at a minimum the price of fuel per liter by 25%. That's one, which means that will drive down the cost of transportation. That will have a net effect on the economy by reducing inflation without injecting additional funds into the economy that would exacerbate inflation. Then number three, farmers will now be making tons of money because they will be the new oil producers. So you can go farm cassava and you sell it to the brokers that will send it to the factory to convert it to ethanol. Corn, cassava, and
we have those in plenty.
Sugarcane.
We have those very plentifully here. Talking about modified portfolios or new ones altogether, there's also steel development.
Yes.
Steel development is in there, and also the one that will gladden the hearts of a lot of Nigerians as well, as much as industrial and all of that is industry and all of that is very, very important. There's this new, amalgamation. You have art, culture, and the creative economy.
Yes. If you go outside Nigeria, I have a lot of friends who are not Africans and who are not Nigerians. But Nigerian culture today is of immense value to them. They wear Nigerian clothes, some of the fabric I'm putting on now.
Yes.
Nigerian food is a rave in America today. People go to restaurants, Nigerian restaurants, to eat Nigerian food. And in addition to that, Nigerian music and our movies.
And Nigerian films.
Yes, Nigerian films. So there are ways government can incentivize that industry to help them so that they can reap the benefits of their art. Because a lot of the produce from that industry, especially the entertainment industry, they are not reaping those funds that they could accrue. Government can help that in terms of passing legislation with regards to piracy and others. And not only that, we can also provide resources through the relevant agencies to even assist some of the up-and-coming artists to project them in the advanced countries so that more resources can be remitted back home.
Previous administrations have thought of it as little more than entertainment, not understanding, just like sports. They say sports is mega in terms of what it can yield.
Yes.
So that the Tinubu administration has seen fit to now, zoom in on that and say you now have art, you have culture, and you have the creative economy all under one ministerial roof.
Yes.
It cannot but be good for the sector.
It is excellent. It is excellent because one of the things that most people don't understand here is that the strength and power that the United States of America asserts globally does not necessarily come from the might of its military capacity, but rather from soft power, which is the culture, the movies. That is how they are able to win the hearts and minds of people around the world.
Around the world.
And Nigeria is actually on the threshold of meeting that target today.
I think so.
If you talk to people from the Latin America world, I have friends from Mexico, Honduras, the first thing they say, you're Nigerian. Oh man, I've watched this Nigerian movie. And they begin to tell me the stories.
Exactly.
So we really need to find ways to monetize this in terms of process of delivery. I do know, for instance, now that Netflix is streaming some of the movies from Nigeria, which provides resources to our people and to those who are engaged in that industry. So government can help by incentivizing the industry and those in the industry in setting up necessary machinery to ensure that we can continue to monetize